T minus 1 minute. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Can we talk for a minute? Come on and talk to me. I wanna know something. Come on and talk to me.
Come and talk to me. I really wanna meet you, girl. I really wanna know your name.
Maybe this will help.
Every time. It gets me every time. That's a good intro, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
That's how you know you got a winner.
Yeah.
It should get you every single time.
Every single time. Yep.
Golly. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all?
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Man, I'm feeling good. All right. I thought you was talking to us. You muted yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help the Podcast, Season 6, Episode 11.
Dang.
Giving you that relationship talk you can relate to, the good, the bad, the alimony. Tonight, we're about to get into some things. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Instagram. And some other things are coming down the pipeline as soon as our manager, Mrs. Danielle, gets us set up. Yeah, man. Listen, if you haven't already, go ahead and tag your favorite friends. Get them in here. Get your favorite snack, your favorite drink. We're going to be here for about 2 hours tonight talking about what we talking about, man.
Yeah, buddy. It's going to be good. I mean, it's always good, but, you know, I'm excited.
After we check in, bro, I was thinking about doing something a little different tonight. I was thinking about kind of going back a little bit to where a blend between how we used to just do random videos, like not a succinct topic throughout for the first hour, and then jump into our topic in the second hour.
I'm with it.
Because tonight's topic is my desire for you is fading.
All right. Cool.
And I just had a lot of other videos. I was like, I want to talk about this stuff. And it doesn't bleed into each other. I'm like, I don't care. I want to talk about this stuff.
Listen, it's our show, number one, and it doesn't have to be fluid all the time. It could be a little scattered. I mean, at the end of the day, there are topics that, you know, come up in our conversation, that come up during the week. And I'm sure we're not the only people that come across these type of topics. I'm sure it'll be good for sure.
And the thing I like about this show is that it's not structured in a way to where it has to be every single week a specific way. I like the way that we just allow it to flow. And I think that wherever we go, because we're definitely trying to grow this thing, that we just hold on to that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's where we at today.
Wherever we knew it was going to come for Rashonda. We knew it wouldn't be Rashonda. It wouldn't be Maybe This Will Help without Rashonda and these type of comments, you know. It's great.
Just make sure it grows, you know. Bro, best part of your week, man.
You would think after damn near 6 years that I would have this like ready.
I wouldn't think that.
Okay, great. I'm glad you know me, brother.
Oh man.
I got nothing today. I think my whole week was pretty solid. I don't have like anything that like stands out. I think I had a pretty good week overall, and that's my answer.
Okay, so we're not gonna talk about what you just left in my DMs today. That's cool. Seemed like that was a highlight for you. We ain't talk about that. Don't worry about it.
Oh man.
Listen, Pookie done sent me a private message. Said, "Did you cut your hair?"
Did you make the cookies? Let's an even better question.
No, better question. Where are my brownies?
Where are our brownies? Yeah.
Because Pookie is making brownies now. She got the big old just thirst trap on Instagram of her.
That's exactly what it is.
That's big piece of brownie, bigger than the hand of the person, whoever's holding it.
And what's crazy is, like a thirst trap, the person that posts never gets back to you. They just leave you on scene.
You know, that's how Yeezy sold all them shoes, man. He just let them on a little bit and then just ghosted them. When they coming out? When can I get them? Mm-hmm. They said that he made, I think, over 300 million. That might be wrong.
We'll go with 300. It's our show. 300 million. Yeah.
In 24 hours.
Wow.
On two different websites, Yeezy website and Adidas website, something like that. But it was all about that. Feeding them just a little bit, like Pookie doing with these doggone cookies. What is it? The Simply More?
Simply More.
Simply More on Instagram.
Golly.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Pook, I did cut my hair because my split ends were wild, but this 1960s R&B group shape that I got going on is nothing but a whole bunch of bobby pins. Just got it swooped in there that way, trying to look like Kwame from back in the day. No, that's listen.
What was your favorite part of your week?
Let's do it. This is not my favorite part. They sold out. How did they sell out before we even got a chance to purchase them?
And we
ordered brownies. I've got to give her credit.
Wait.
She lying. She just lying, trying to throw somebody else under the bus. The Simply More.
Was that somebody that got to taste the brownies before we did? Wait, hold on.
No, Sean makes them. Her cousin.
Oh shit. Okay, nigga.
Yeah.
All right.
If y'all looking for some bomb cookies and brownies, head over to the one Simply More.
Immediately.
Man.
Immediately.
All right. Well, what was the best part of my week?
Besides not getting your brownies.
Jesus whiz. This is a good week. I don't know. Today was chill. You know what? Sir, I think the best part of my week was finding a new way to chill. I got this new thing that I'm venturing into, and it's been serving me really well when it comes to relaxing and recovering and I'm really enjoying it. You know, because I feel like at the ripe age of 45, and still staying with a growth mindset about how life can be and how I can do enjoyment, relaxation, recovery. I'm finding these new things, and it's been good, man. Even like these new activities that I'm starting to engage in. Like, I'm not too old to try stuff I haven't seen on TikTok and Instagram, and I'm having the time of my life.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Do you care to share what?
Not at all.
Cool.
Not at all. So we're gonna get into these videos. I'm like Mike tonight, man. Hella private on some things.
Actually,
yeah, man.
Everybody don't need to know every doggone thing.
Listen, today we about to get into this. If you haven't already tagged your favorite friend, I see the numbers are going up. We about to go ahead and get started. For those who follow my Instagram page, I posted a video this week. Thank you, Ferg. She said 45, you're young. I'm taking that now for sure. I got over another 50 years ago. For those of you who follow my Instagram page, you saw this week that I posted this video of this young chocolate lady with a Caribbean British accent talking about if you want to shift from dating a medium ugly guy to a fine guy.
Is this what we're starting?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I told you, no rhyme or reason. Why you scratching, bro? You want me to save that one?
No, go. Go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
If you what's up? Look, my mom's in the building.
Hey, Mom.
What's going on, Carrie?
Hey,
So
dude.
she was talking about if you want to, most girls I know, not most girls, some girls date medium ugly guys because they safe, ain't got to worry about nobody trying to get their man. But then they get the gall, the wherewithal to want to move into dating a fine man. And she just
Right.
gave this disclaimer to let you know what you might need to watch out for. So it's a 2-minute video. Let's tap in.
Let's do it.
Beautiful. Although nobody is everybody's cup of tea, dating a fine man is not for the weak. See, this is the reason I used to date medium uglies before. I used to date medium uglies before because it was easier, it was nicer. When people would look at you and be like, oh my god, how did he pull her? And now it's, oh my god, I want her man. Oh my gosh, what a stark difference. And now, whereas before the medium ugly thought that he was all that, and this man, everybody else thinks he's all that. It's a culture shift. Dating a fine man, it's not for the weak. It's different. Knowing that so many women want your man, especially when he's beautiful, inside and out, and it was just easier dating the medium ugly because you knew that you were the only one that wanted him. Really? Well, maybe not the only one, but one of the only ones that wanted him. And you were the one who sacrificed to give him a chance, and it's just different with a fine man. He's so fine that people are like, well, I want to have sex with your man. I want to... Is your man single? Are you stab-proof, lady? Are you immune to knives? I wouldn't do that. I'll pray for them. But, yes, just wanted to come on here and say, if you are dating medium uglies and you want to switch over to the fine man category, be sure that you have the strength and tenacity to hold your tongue, to hold your knives to yourself, because it's not for the crazy, it's not for the weak, and definitely not for the jealous. Yes. Amen.
So yes, bro, that's how we're gonna start the show. If you are thinking about switching from dating medium ugly men to fine men, she's saying these are a few things that you need to know. Do you agree with that, bro?
Do I agree with what? Exactly.
Everything that she said about what the challenges that a woman may face when switching from dating a medium ugly man to a fine man.
Yes, I do. And I do because it's so funny. You sent me this one earlier in the week, and I showed Janae, and you know, as funny as I thought it was, she was pretty much straight faced like the entire time, like in full agreement. Yeah, resonated with her deeply. And if I'm being honest, women have come and told me, you know, how lucky, blessed Janae was. All of the things that I've heard, and I would say it's important to be secure. You know what I mean? This is male or female, because sometimes men we tend to date up too. I feel like I've married up. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's important to like your self-esteem got to be up to par, because like I feel like I'm not the best looking guy out there, and I've encountered or seen other guys watching Janae and all these other things, and you know, it's important to be sure of yourself when you're dating up, as far as looks are concerned.
Up from where?
And I like what she said. She said beautiful inside and beautiful outside. So that's like, dang, you're not just good looking. You're not just eye candy. Like it's something about your soul, your spirit that's also beautiful. So yeah, it could be rough, bro.
I can respect that. But I would love for the ladies in the audience to help me with this. What is medium ugly? Please describe for me to the best of your ability when you say a brother is medium ugly.
Damn.
What features, what attributes, what character traits, what are the eyes seeing that are qualifying this brother as medium ugly?
Sheesh. That's a good question. That's a good question because I have some ideas, but I don't necessarily want to put up no pictures. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to see if Whoopi had a girl brother.
Oh man, come on, man. That's the Whoopi is off limits. First of all,
she is off limits,
and you know that.
All right, that's fine. Listen, I'm still trying to figure out what medium ugly is. Do we call girls medium ugly, or do we say they have a nice personality? Is that the same thing we're talking about?
Ouch! I don't think we actually use that verbiage, but I think we kind of know, like, oh, she's cool. I feel like that's a sign of medium ugly. And somebody's like, oh, hey, bro, what she look like? And you say, oh, she was cool, but she was straight.
I think girls just come out straight out and say medium ugly. Damn. Why, mom? Why?
I love mom. Let's go ahead and drop names. Let's do it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it, mom.
McJellen said medium ugly is a decent body, awkward facial features. Interesting.
And so are we saying Kevin Hart because of like he doesn't supersede 5 feet? Like I'm just trying to get to, I'm really trying to understand, like, is it just the face that makes them medium ugly, or can it be the whole gamut?
Ferg is online, said medium ugly to me is Kevin Hart. So the reason we're asking this question is because we know that the people are saying that women are not as visual as men. So this medium ugly label can't just be, well, it seems that this medium ugly label can't just be all off of physical features.
And let's take a quick poll. Is the saying that women aren't as visual? Pause. Is the saying that women aren't as visual? Is that a true statement to our female viewers that are watching now? Is that a true statement? Or are you like, we just as visual as the men, if not more? Because I feel like women are just as visual. And we've experienced it. We've experienced it when we out at the gym, going to eat. We've experienced how women can be. What'd you say, Brad? Oh, she said bingo. so I feel like Janae also bingo? No, she's saying to what I just said. She's saying that women can be, if not more, at least as visually stimulated as men.
All right. They just been lying to us all these years.
Yeah.
So mom said, absolutely be confident, self-assured, intentional about how you show up so that no one can slay you. Okay. All right. Was it Janae is very best to have you, very blessed to have you. You're blessed to have her. Okay. Compliment each other.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Security and confidence got to be on point. Let those comments roll as long as a person isn't directly disrespectful. Won't be any issues. Huh. So I appreciate McJellen spelling it out for us. Medium ugly is a decent body and awkward facial features.
I like that.
Anybody else got Jesus, Carrie? His looks ain't trending. Golly.
Yikes.
Okay, so listen, see, so mom said short, funny, but not really attractive. They're taking into consideration more than just physical features.
Yep, that's what it looks like. That's what
There's no such thing as an ugly woman, only a lazy woman. See, Rashonda's petty. She's still from last week.
Oh my God, so much to say about that. But
Rashonda said she would date Kevin. And
Rashonda also said on one of these shows that she dates medium ugly. She's
also dang near 6 feet tall.
Also true. Dating Kevin Hart and almost 6 feet tall is wild.
She said he is hilarious. I'd give him a height pass. So let's talk about this because height seems to be such a big issue for women these days. What gives a brother a height pass? She said if he's funny.
I would add if his pockets are fat, I think that gives him a pass on. Oh, he's not that attractive, but girl, he got money. I've heard that.
So?
I've heard it. This is things that I've heard. Unfortunately.
Okay. Well, let's get some from the audience, because Rashonda said yep to that. But when it goes back to this medium ugly thing, she said attraction is subjective. He can be a 5 in the face, but a 10 personality. So my question is, bro, when you look at a woman and somebody asks you, is she attractive? Do you ever consider anything outside of how she looks?
Yeah, I think now I do. Now I account for personality, I account for style, and then I account for physical features.
Interesting.
Yeah. Ask me.
Are you thinking?
Ask me 10 years ago. Do she got ass? Do she got titties? And what her face look like? And that's it.
When someone asks you, are they attractive? Do you think they're asking for character traits?
Now, no. Then, yes, 1000%.
No, not character traits like integrity, patient.
Okay.
Like if someone's asked you if they're attractive and you start listing off character traits, I'm assuming that you're starting with their best features, which is their personality, because their face is not up to par or it's not trending.
Damn.
I'm just asking.
Damn. See, yikes. I don't know if I would assume that they're I don't want to use the word ugly. They're not attractive because I start with character traits, but I would want to hear something about physical features as well to let me know, like, oh, okay, you also think that they look good physically. But if all we given is character traits,
okay.
Yeah,
it's okay if you start with that.
Yeah, it's okay if you start with it, but if I don't get anything, I would probably think that, okay, you don't think that they're physically attractive.
Got you.
But some women don't put no stock in that, really. You know what I mean? Some women and men put all their stock into those character traits. I'm not mad at it, but it's not for me.
Well, going back to this height pass thing, McJellen says she would give a guy a height pass, being if he's under 6 foot, if he had a good sense of humor. She said, I would date Kevin Hart. I love his sense of humor. Rashonda said he's really intelligent too. Mom said money gives you a pass. Ferguson said a height pass and medium ugly pass if he has a great personality.
Damn. Okay.
And I think one of the foundational things that make a personality great, in my opinion, isn't it humor?
Oh, for sure. For me. Yes.
Would anybody argue that?
Nah, I don't. Well, I don't know, but I wouldn't for sure. But back to the video though. So women that have dated up, we'll call it dating up, as far as
we forgot the whole video. Jesus.
As far as the attraction level goes, women that have dated up, have you found it more difficult to manage that type of relationship for those very reasons? Like, oh, this guy is better looking, this guy does have a better personality, this guy does have more money, and now I see, compared to my last guy, he's getting more attention from the opposite sex. You know what I mean? When we're out, I can see the women drooling over him. I can see, how this may be a little bit different than what I'm used to, the medium ugly guy.
That's a good question. I think because when we're watching that video, it appears that women feel safer and more secure with a medium ugly guy, because there's not as many women trying to holler at him, if any. And we've heard so many times that women want to feel safe and secure in their relationships. And one of the things that make them feel threatened is the presence of other women trying to take what's theirs.
Yeah.
And so I think it's built on being an easier environment to manage. So when you're asking, is it harder to manage a relationship with a guy that's fine versus a guy that's medium ugly? It appears that foundationally, that is the reason why they stay in a medium ugly lane, because it is easier to manage. But let's hear from the ladies. What do you guys think about that?
While we're waiting for the female viewers to chime in, Donovan.
No arguments here.
Listen.
Okay.
You're an attractive guy. Have you
qualified for medium ugly?
Not from what I've heard and been asked.
All right.
And motherfuckers hit me up asking questions. Leave my brother alone. Anyway, in any relationships or even dating world that you've been in the past, have you ever gotten the complaint like it's difficult to date you, it's difficult to be with you because of the way you look, or because of your personality? Everybody likes Donnie, and I just feel. Have you ever gotten any complaints? Audience wants to know. You're on live.
Yeah, bro.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
That's all you're gonna give me is yes. This nigga's adjusting his chair, sweating.
It's mostly because of my personality. You know, I got a stellar personality.
You do, but I don't think that's at all.
Golly. Yes. I think that so if we just stick physically, if we stick strictly on physical attributes, it goes back to what you said at the beginning of the show. You have, I don't think you have to, but people have a tendency to date at their level of self-esteem. Sometimes your self-esteem could be lying to you, because what you think you can handle, you may not be considering who else wants to be handling that? Who else wants to manage that? Who else wants to, and people come with things, right? Some people come with an ease. Some people come with, saying, what do you see in the chat? I'm already upset.
My wife is ridiculous. My wife is ridiculous.
God. Well, we're going to answer it. We're going to get to it.
Okay.
But to answer your question, Mike, yes. It has come up before in conversations that it's too challenging to try to believe that to believe that you don't accept any of these advances from all these women. I think that the way that I look and the way that I behave makes it challenging for some women to believe that I can be faithful or that I am being faithful.
Man, all right. So I know what I would say, but in your opinion, would you say that that's a them problem? Like, if you know you living up to what you agreed on in the relationship or in the dating phase, if you know that whatever she's saying is completely false, are you going to try to, appease that with a an explanation and all this, or is that just, hey, that's a you problem? I already said that this is what it was. If you choose to believe otherwise, that's on you. I'm not the one for you.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't tell her to her face it's a you problem. I would more or less say, if that's what you believe, what are you going to do about it?
So you're going to threaten her? I feel like that's a you problem.
That is not.
That sounds like it. What you going to do about it? Golly.
What are you going to do about what you believe? Golly, I didn't threaten a woman. What are you going to do about what you believe? Because you said, see, my whole, I guess my direction in that point in the conversation is that you believe that. You said you believe. So do you want to continue to believe that, or do you want to believe something different?
Facts. That's good.
If you want to believe something different, what are you going to do to make yourself believe something different? If you don't want to believe something different, then it was nice knowing you, and we'll settle into the place. Because what I can't argue with is who somebody imagines that I am. Good or bad. I that is something that you've come to the conclusion of in your own mind without my consent, without my permission, without my input. And so there's no point in me trying to get in there. I don't have a vote.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now let me ask you this: Would you include in when you said what somebody has made up in their own mind? Would that include what they heard from a friend, what they seen on a podcast, what they see on social media? Is that all included of what they've made up? Because they still don't see the full gamut of Donovan.
No, I don't think it's about what they've seen or heard. I think you can see whatever you want, hear whatever you want. What it comes down to is your interpreter. How are you translating what you're seeing and what you're hearing? See, all this information out here is just it's innocent information coming from trusted and untrusted sources.
For sure.
What makes a difference in our psyche and what impacts our nervous system is then how we interpret it, what we make it mean. And that's why I said I can't argue that. I can't go online and tell people, stop telling my wife this, or to go to other people and say that, you know, stop presenting me like this in front of her.
Yeah.
It's here, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's for all of us.
Mhm.
That's where we interpret and come to conclusions about who we think people are.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid.
So let's go back because your wife got a few questions in the chat. Your wife said, "What do you guys rate yourself?" And she said on looks because she knew I would have.
Yep.
Where you at, Mike? What do you rate yourself on looks? Scale of 1 to 10.
I'm gonna go 7.75. My wife came out of the restroom. I can see her out of my peripheral. She came out of the restroom and is now standing there staring at me. I'm not gonna look over.
Are you lying?
I'm not lying, and she knows I'm not lying.
Is that the highest you've ever rated yourself?
Yeah, I say so.
Okay, fair enough.
You got your hands on your hip. God, I feel like I'm in trouble.
Because what you're making it sound like to the public is that she married a 7.75.
She did. I told you. I feel like she's dating. Yeah. I told you I dated up. Damn.
Oh man.
Gave my disclaimer. It's on you.
I think golly. On most days, I definitely just settle around a 5. That's where I rate myself at a 5. Now I do have some pretty days where I'm like, oh, okay, that's not too shabby.
Did you call them pretty days?
Just some pretty days. Not me being pretty. That was the wrong phrase to use.
Yeah.
Golly. Well, not as bad as you saying. Let's take a quick poll. I think that there's some days where certain things just click a little bit better. Everything, facial hair and the hair falls into place, and I've gone as much as a 6.5. Like, yeah, I can rock that. Yeah, just a little bit above average, but
right.
I see me every day, and so I get to look at certain things every day, and I think I look better at a glance than I do at a stare. If that makes sense.
It does. Absolutely. I definitely see. Yes. Yeah,
and I think
I
think I work better for girls who wear glasses. A little nearsighted. Huh?
I'm with that. No, I'm with you, bro.
All right. Yes.
All right.
What did mom say? Mom said, yes, it is a challenge because disrespectful women that make a pass right in your face. You have to trust your man. I like that. You have to trust your man.
Because I feel like, and Janae can attest to this, I feel like women do that like when we're together all the time. Like we were just at returning a rental car the other day, and the lady that worked there stopped mid-sentence. How tall are you? God goodness, you. And in my mind, I'm like, what? But Janae, I don't know. I don't know if she realizes it or she doesn't care or she trusts me or whatever the case may be. But I agree with mom. I think it just takes a certain amount of surety of yourself and surety of your partner in those type of situations.
Mm.
And then she goes and puts that in the chat. So maybe.
What's she say?
Jesus Christ.
She gonna trust these hands too. Carrie thinks that we're full of crap.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy how people really, really think that. And my wife can attest. Like I don't think I have esteem issues, but I just, there's always things that I feel like could be better or I could work on.
What's so bad about finding a man a 6.5 attractive? That's what you're asking me. I'm not even into men, but you asked me how I feel about the way I look. Ask me about a woman. I could tell you all day. Listen, my scale of grading a man may be a little off from you, woman, because you're attracted to men.
Right.
Listen, I don't see this and say, hey, now. But women do. They look in the mirror before they go out. They be like, I hit that. That's how they know their outfit is right.
I'm gonna kill him with this one.
Listen, I've never said that about myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So let me ask your wife, Janae, sis, jump in the chat. What do you rate your husband on a scale of 1 to 10?
Don't do that.
We did it.
She, I can hear her in the bathroom now. Oh, listen, shit. Relax.
That is good. Let me see. I saw who's on here talking trash. Uh-oh. It's your problem. That's my auntie. You can't make an insecure person trust you. It's
Hey,
not
there
your
we go,
problem.
auntie.
Their thoughts are usually based on past relationship history. Listen, and the fact that the past is informing your present, you still have the opportunity to override that if you want to. You can take in consideration what you know about this person and not believe everything else going on outside. But a paranoid person is just going to be paranoid, you know, until they either are tired of being paranoid until they see their paranoia destroy enough things in their life.
That's good.
Until then, they're gonna just be paranoid.
That's good. What Ali say? Ali said, Donovan, you are full of shit. You are closer to a 9.
All right, 6.6 then. I'll take that. Let's see.
Because that is closer to a 9.
It is. Listen, your wife said you already know my husband is a 20 out of 10.
I saw the comment and I didn't put it up there on purpose.
Let's leave that right there for a little bit.
She is hype in that bathroom this evening. Jesus.
Oh shoot. So
what we got?
Shonda said girls do it when I'm with my son. He's so oblivious to it. This is interesting because my mom loves to tell all my business. She said people approach me, his mom, and say they couldn't date my son because he's too fine. I assure them he's not about all that.
Sheesh, that's wild.
You know, and I think just before we move on to the next video, it's always good to visit the, what do they call it, preconceived notions about people based on either their education, their intelligence, their money, their looks. Sometimes you could really be shooting yourself in the foot.
What about their past?
What about it?
No, I'm saying, is that something?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
including everybody. You can be shooting yourself in the foot because without having an honest conversation with this person or spending time to get to know them for yourself, like how big is your ego to think that the conclusion you came to with zero experience about this person is accurate enough for you to say, I don't need to find out for myself.
Yeah, that's wild.
You know, but it is what it is. Beside the point, if you're we got so far away from the video, but it was a good video.
It was.
I like the part about her talking about how when she moved from dating medium ugly men to fine men, how women became more bold and telling them like, I want to have sex with your husband.
Yeah.
And the gall, the audacity to say that to the woman. That's why she said, "Are you knife proof?" But she said it's not for the weak, it's not for the jealous, it's not for the crazy, because all those people will be tested in those specific categories. If you're dating someone, and this is not someone who's universally fine, just someone who's fine to you.
Yeah.
And I think that what the wisdom I'm taking away from this is that if you are going to ever go for what you want, be it the person that you want, the job that you want, understand that there are going to be certain things associated with going for what you want that you have to really fortify yourself to be able to handle. You know what I'm saying? You get the job that you want and you think everybody's trying to steal the job from you, and you never really get to enjoy that job because of the paranoia or because of, you know, just the things that you feel like are a threat. Now, if you're going to date a fine man, date one that's faithful. If you're going to marry a fine man, marry one that's totally into you as well. And then maybe some of those threats don't have to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. I don't even know if I want to read this. Wait a minute, go back. She said, my auntie said, your cousin and his friend used to be in the mirror, and when I asked them, what are you doing? You've been in the mirror too long. Their reply would be trying to see what the girls be going crazy about. Fair.
Let me ask you this, bro, because Auntie just brought up a good point and it made me think about something. So, you know, has that ever been you? Like, okay, I know girls have complimented me on these things. Let me try to accentuate them, whether it's arms, whether it's, you know, eyebrows, whether it's facial hair. Has that ever been you, or have you always been this? I'm gonna just do what I like. F everything
Bro,
else.
I was at the club, bro. Everything that they shouted about, I went home and tried to enhance, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when I was trying to be a sex symbol. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and let me tell you guys, be careful who you hang out with, because y'all know that Mike is my brother, but he's also a model. And I'm not into fashion. But this brother this week, I had on a crop top tee and some boots and some jeans out here looking just like Mike Daniel.
And a cowboy hat. I was like, hey, look at my brother stepping out on these.
I was out here looking like a young YN F-boy in these streets, embarrassing my mom. Looking like I was right back at the club.
That's funny.
Oh man, I'm done with this topic, man. Let's keep it moving.
Let's go.
It's already 8:41, and we got a good topic for y'all tonight. I had some stuff about the gym and what people wear, because that's one of our favorite topics, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump past that. Oh shoot, Instagram got some stuff. Check your Instagram.
Yep.
Let's see. Okay, so my sister said most of the time the lady doesn't feel safe, as you stated previously, or secure that the man wouldn't choose what's being propositioned to him. Yeah,
that's true.
I think sometimes it's hard to believe that what you wants you as well. And I think that's where the insecurity place, that's where that can start to self-sabotage. It's almost like you got to give yourself permission to go after what you want. And then you also have to believe that you're worthy of what you want, not just in your head because you're gaslighting yourself, but because you've also been doing the work. You know what I'm saying to you, and you know what's valuable. Like I've fixed. I mean, I don't say I fixed, but I've been working on my personality, right? You know what I'm saying? I do my self-care. Like I present myself a certain way. Somebody would be lucky to have a woman like me, right? And again, I'm not saying this the way that some people talk to each other. They'll just say somebody be lucky to have you because you're a human.
Yeah.
That's not the kind of pep talk I'm talking about. I'm talking about learning to understand what it is that you truly bring to a room, how you enhance the relationship, and say, yeah, what I want would want me. Because that's the question we always ask. If you met your dream come true, why would your dream come true want you?
Yeah.
And the more time you spend with that and you're able to answer that securely, saying this is why, I think at that point, then it's appropriate for you to go after what you want. Because if you go after it, absent knowing why it will want you in return, those insecurities may show up, and you may self-sabotage the opportunity because you'll be in paranoia, fear, or worry the whole time.
That's good. Quick before we leave the topic.
Yeah.
In that situation, you know what I mean? Like Sis said, you know what I mean? If the woman is feeling, unsafe or insecure, is there anything that the man can do about that? Like, because good men don't want their woman to feel insecure or feel like, I'm out here in the streets not doing anything wrong, but is there anything that they would want their man to do?
I think that I'll say it like this. If you're with a woman who feels like she dated or she married up and she is just smitten by you, how you look on the inside and outside, but she struggles with how many other people want you, and she struggles with how other people see you and feeling like she doesn't, measure up, I would say the best thing you could do is PDA all day, public displays of affection in front of the very people she's worried about.
Like I do in the gym.
Oh God.
Is it not true? Is it not true?
It's disturbing.
Especially when that girl comes in there, I make sure to get up in my woman's face.
Yes, you do. And don't just act like that's the only time you do it, because you guys be touching each other. Y'all gonna get kicked out the gym at some point.
He's disturbed.
But yeah, man, to answer your question, I think that PDA is the best way to further secure
that's solid,
or
bro.
to participate in the security of your person.
That's so solid. That's solid.
I would love to know if I'm off base. Chat, what you guys think about that? So my sister said, the wealthy wife, he said, reassuring words of affirmation. Because again, like that's a man's mind, like, oh, I'm gonna grab you and kiss you, but that may not be her button. So she said words of affirmation. Does it matter if they're back home in private or right there in the moment? sis?
What do you think, babe? She said both. Yeah, she said it depends on the person. I don't think she struggles with that, but yeah.
Golly.
My PDA is for me, really, especially in public, because usually I see stuff that Janae don't see.
What do you see, Michael?
I see the looks, I see the smiles, I see the long stares.
You see guys looking at her?
I do.
Get your eyes off my sister.
Those I just smile. You know, she fine. She fine. I get it.
Little Filipino self.
Right.
All right. Well, unless we got anything else in the chat, I'm gonna move on to the next video.
Then I'm in the restroom laughing. I guess the whole family getting kicked out of the night show.
My sis said both PDA and words of affirmation. Ferg said PDA is the best way to ease a person's insecurities. I would say that goes both ways. Allie said PDA is dope in a relationship.
Yeah.
Shonda said it sounds exhausting.
No, I get it, and I feel where Rashonda is coming from. But like some people, this is necessary. You know what I mean? And when you're in a relationship, you know what I mean. Sometimes you want to do what you can do in the capacity in which you can do it to make your partner feel safe and comfortable.
Well, then that brings up a different question. Then
let's do it.
The next question is that over time, if you see a pattern of your person being insecure, is that potentially a deal breaker?
Oof, a deal breaker meaning like I can't be with you.
We're not dating it no more, or like this marriage ain't gonna work.
You know what I'm gonna say?
It can be heavy married to or dating someone with deep insecurities, because even if you're trying to do the PDA, you're trying to do a public displays of affection, or you're trying to do words of affirmation, if none of that is like helping that person be more secure in the relationship, then that weight is going to remain. I mean, it's going to potentially suck the fun out of different moments. And that means, and what we have to understand about insecurity, that it robs you of the opportunity to be present.
That's true.
You go in and you vacate with whoever you vacate the presence of whoever you're with, because you're inside dealing with some things. And that can be exhausting. That can be disappointing. So do you think that at some point, if a person doesn't address their insecurities, it could be a deal breaker and the end of a relationship?
If we're talking, we've had conversation about it, I've expressed my grievances about it, and then there's still no change, then yeah, I think it could potentially be a deal breaker.
Okay, then that means outside of me trying to help you with your security, what should a person do for themselves if they struggle with deep insecurities?
Therapy. Because I struggle with deep insecurities for the longest, and I feel like what I tried to do is just mask them with stuff, clothes, cars, you know, certain jobs, going out to certain places that made me feel more worthy. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't until I got in therapy where I started to unravel some of those insecurities and realize, like, oh shoot, okay. Because for the longest, I was just putting a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. You know what I'm saying? The wound is still there, so it's gonna leak, and it's gonna be bloody, and it's gonna get all over me, over everybody else. But I feel like with therapy, it allowed me to start to sew that thing up. Not saying that I'm 100% where I need to be, but I'm definitely better than I was for sure. And that's due to, you know, therapy and the right circle of people around you.
Was there anything specific that happened in therapy that helped you become more secure?
Yeah, get into the root of where my insecurities stem from. I think was the biggest eye opener for me, because people can say, "Oh, I don't like this about myself," or "I don't like that," but why? You know what I mean? Whether that why be who told you that was unattractive, whether the why be, growing up, that's all you heard, whatever the why may be. But I feel like once I realized where the why I feel this way came from, I think it was a lot easier for me to start letting certain things go.
That's good. I think that's the root of a lot of things, the why behind it.
Yeah, man.
Because Maya said, it's good to see you, lady. It's been a minute. She said, definitely a deal breaker, because it's hard to just be yourself. When your person is struggling with deep insecurities, it is it hard to be yourself? So it's not. I don't think it's hard to be yourself. You can be yourself, but in being yourself, you're met with something that can be challenging or heavy. I think the pathway to authenticity is always. I want to say it's easy. You just have to choose to be authentic, but you may struggle with the consequences that come along with it. Because I think if you're in a relationship, your expectations are to be doing things with that person, and then to always be showing up, by yourself. It's like, yeah. So what we got here?
Before you get into that comment, real quick, I know Kiss Maya didn't drop a comment, and she ain't been on the podcast in 2 years, and she just gonna drop a gem real quick and no.
I told her it was nice to see her.
I had to blast her a little bit more though. All right, let's move forward.
Understandable. Should I try to pronounce it? Wyneka. Wynanek. I think it's her first time here, or his first time here. I'm not sure, but Wynanek said, over time, it's a deal breaker because at some point the woman or men should be secure in their relationship. How long does it take to get to the point to be secure in their relationship? That's a wonderful question. Or maybe even how long will you stay before you say, hey, enough is enough?
Yeah. Because honestly, bro, that question of how long does it take is not up to that person. It's up to the person that's experiencing all of this stuff, because they may not even know where it comes from. It may take them years. Like you said, it's up to you whether you're willing to stick around for that process and that journey.
Yeah, I like that. My auntie said, take yourself to a psychiatrist and work on your self-esteem and insecurity. Listen, get the real thing.
God, it's like a piece of psychiatrist.
Man,
I get it.
This is good. Oh, okay. She said it's Wana. Oh, what up, lady? Okay. All right. Bet. Hold on. Let me proofread that. Okay. Nope. I just be throwing stuff up. All right. So McJellin said, I don't mind going through hard things in order for the betterment of the ones I love. I hear that. I just think that everything has an expiration date, though. I'm wondering, like, if you in it for the long haul, like if you marry and you like till death do us part, then for sure.
Yeah. To what end, though? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. 1000%. Kiss Man said, I've been working Sundays for the past 2 years, playing hooky tonight, so I'm here. Well, I'm happy to have you here. Mike is on the fence. I'm ready to move on to the next one. So I think this ties in. I wouldn't even try to make this tie in, but if we're talking about being with someone who struggles with insecurities, I think the part that we also have to discuss is that after a while, you start to feel like you're not in a relationship. And if you're in a relationship, but you don't feel like you're in a relationship, that's an open door for somebody else to come in and feel that deficit that you're not getting from the person that you're actually in a relationship with. So I thought this was an interesting topic. So check this out.
Have you noticed something dangerous? Sometimes someone you just met can feel more attractive than the partner who's been by your side for years. That doesn't mean you stopped loving them. It means your brain is being pulled by a very ancient mechanism. Psychology calls it the novelty reward effect. When we meet someone new, the brain releases a surge of dopamine. That chemical doesn't create love. It creates excitement, anticipation, and fantasy. In long-term relationships, dopamine slowly fades, and it gets replaced by something much quieter: oxytocin. Oxytocin doesn't create heart-racing passion. It creates safety, trust, and attachment. So you start to wonder, why does the person outside look so dazzling, while the one in front of you feels ordinary? The real danger isn't being attracted to someone new. The danger is mistaking that feeling for love being reborn. Because when the dopamine wave passes, you may realize you didn't leave a relationship. You walked away from a harbor that had been protecting you from the storms. Long-term love has never been heartbeats competing with heartbeats. It's companionship outlasting fantasy.
Damn. The scientific explanation is wild. Sheesh.
I love videos like that because they really do pull you into understanding why you feel the way that you feel without having to justify it by, that's just the way that I am. When you start to understand that there is a biological makeup or foundation to it, psychological, hormonal. You start to recognize that I'm not faithful because I eat fast food. Like it can be the strangest thing, right?
Yeah.
And I love that because I think it's all connected. I think your ability to keep your eyes focused on your partner and to be faithful is really not just about them. It's also about how you do other things in your life.
That's good. That's really good. Now are we talking discipline?
I think we are.
Mm.
I think we are, but not to stray too far away from the video. What did you think about that?
No, man, I felt like that was good, man, because I know that there's people out there, and even myself, being honest, that has those moments of, oh damn, like all we did was talking about working out, but that was a dope conversation, and then you wonder, and then some people end up feeling guilty, like, man, maybe I shouldn't have enjoyed the conversation so much, or maybe I shouldn't enjoy talking to him or to her so much because I am in a relationship, right? I'm not spoken for, but you know, I feel like that video kind of opens the door to more conversation behind that. You know what I'm saying? Because like she said, it's not a matter of, oh, I want to leave my man or I want to leave my girl because this person now I enjoy talking to. It has nothing to do with that. But in saying that, I still think it's important to create the appropriate boundaries when these type of chemical reactions are happening, so that you don't get carried away, and so that you don't start mistaking, like the video said, you don't start mistaking those type of dopamine hits as, oh, this just now you're googly eyed and starry eyed and thinking that you fallen in love with a person when that may not be the case.
I want to play the first part of the video one more time because I want to make a comment on something.
Have you noticed something dangerous? Sometimes someone you just met can feel more attractive than the partner who's been by your side for years. That doesn't mean you stopped loving them. It means your brain is being pulled by a very ancient mechanism. Psychology calls it the novelty reward effect. When we meet someone new, the brain releases a surge of dopamine. That chemical doesn't create love. It creates excitement, anticipation, and fantasy.
So here's the part that I kind of want to pull out a little bit. You meet new people every day.
For sure.
When that video said you meet someone, I feel like that's a different kind of meet.
Interesting.
Because I meet people all the time, but when I met this person, something felt different, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I want to kind of work through this because I know that you have certain responsibilities in your relationship that are outside of the person that you're with, right?
Yeah.
And there's needs you may have that may not get met every day. And I want to have a little conversation about how opportunities to meet somebody and connect with somebody show up when you're in a relationship. Was that a leak? Is that a gap? How did that even get there? Right. So I know we're talking about boundaries with people outside of our relationship, but I also think that it's appropriate to talk about responsibilities within our relationship too. And I don't want to say it's not 100% our responsibility to keep our partner's eyes and interest on us, but is there things that you feel like people neglect to do in a relationship that does haphazardly create an open door for other people to come in, or for an open door for them to have attraction in other places?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I feel like that's where like the work wife and the work husband come in at, because wifey may, like we talked about it on the podcast before, your wife or your husband may not be doing what they're supposed to be doing at home, and then here comes the work wife or the work husband. Hey, did you eat today? I just made a pot roast and I got some extra. And then that becomes a daily thing of her asking you if you ate, and now she's bringing you lunch every day. And then now, you know what I mean? So, and now you're feeling taken care of in a way that maybe your wife should be taking care of you, or the way that your husband should be taking care of you. You're getting
so
that
we
from
talk
somewhere else. Go
So
ahead.
we're talking about the way that your husband or your wife should be taking care of you. Where does that should come from? What is that
Conversation, I hope.
standard?
Conversation, or if it's not conversation, it's what you've been doing in your actions, maybe since we've been together. You always cook me dinner, and now all of a sudden something has changed, and now you're not anymore. Something that I still want, but you're not doing it anymore. We haven't talked about it, but now this lady at work is starting to do it, and now we don't need to talk about it because I'm getting it from her.
So the boundary that needs to be set is that if you are missing something from your relationship and you see it offered to you outside of your relationship, the boundary is no. But the responsibility is to come to your partner and say, hey, I used to enjoy when you did this and I'm missing it. And I'm being offered it in other places, but I'm not taking it. But I'd like to know if we can reinstate that here.
That's perfect.
The boundary and the responsibility working together.
That's perfect.
I like that. So if you have,
you can't have both. You can't have one individually. I don't think. I think there'll be a imbalance if we just got boundaries with no responsibility, or if we just got responsibility with no boundaries.
This is probably the core of what I'm talking about. Rashonda said it. Getting too comfortable, not staying curious and spontaneous. So that's for me when I'm talking about responsibilities in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I said it once. Oh God, how did they say it? They said some people get in relationships to settle down.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about what that settle down could mean. That means that I've got you. I don't have to work out no more. I don't have to put forth all the effort. I'm settling down. I'm wearing glasses instead of contacts. I'm wearing muumuus instead of lingerie. I'm rocking his dad bod instead of breaking my body 5 days a week at the gym. That's what some people mean by settle down, which is a great question that comes up when you're in premarital counseling. What do you want the relationship and marriage to look like? Some people is just like, we home. I'm tired of being in these streets. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to be with my person. And that sounds lovely until you're like, was that it? It's just, and some people are just like that. For some people, that's a dream come true.
Yeah.
For other people, like, I want to go out and I want to do something. And so knowing what that means. And so when I say getting too comfortable, I think when she says getting too comfortable, I think that again, it comes down to the conversation of what do you want the next 10, 20 years of your life to look like?
Yeah.
Because you can kind of get an idea of that. Getting too comfortable is not something that happens by accident. That's something that happened through intention, whether you recognize it or not. I've been looking forward to getting too comfortable.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's
interesting.
Solid. Yeah.
Let me see what we got on. So on Instagram, sis said, I hate the work wife, work husband stuff. To me, it's just emotional cheating to me, filling a void. We're going to talk about emotional cheating tonight. I'm happy you brought that up. I'm just trying to set the stage for this big conversation we're going to have tonight about my desire for you is fading. Because if we're looking at the opportunity for you to meet someone new and even be struggling with this connection and this dopamine hit, my question always comes back to what took your eyes off your partner?
Yeah.
And I think that that's a great question to ask and ponder yourself before it even happens. What could take my eyes off my partner? You know what I'm saying to you? When I think about that, if I had to ask myself that question, what could take my eyes off my partner? I think that one of the main things that keeps my eye on anybody that I'm dating or a relationship with would be the type of conversations that I'm into. It ain't got to happen for like a week or 2 or 3 weeks without that. I know that that's something that I thrive on. It's something that I engaged in, before I got into a relationship. And so I know that I'm going to go looking for it.
That's good.
And so if you know the thing that you're going to go looking for and you found that in this person, and that's the foundation for you, or not even foundation, that's one of the pillars for you about why you and this person work so well, and then that pillar is missing.
Sheesh. Yeah, that'll be a problem. That's going to be a problem.
All right, so I guess we're going that direction because McJellin said if you stay focused on the depth of the intimacy you and your partner share, prioritizing your relationship with affection, rapport, tenderness, passion, togetherness, warmth, and affinity, you won't have to worry too much about all that. That's a long list outside of mortgage and kids and health and bills and alarm clocks and vacations. Like
it is, bro. And I'm glad you said it's a long list because I feel like, and me and you kind of talked about this on Tuesday. I feel like that's the work that people talk about when it comes to marriage, or at least that should be the work that people are talking about when people say, oh, marriage is hard, marriage is this. No, it's not. It just takes a little bit of work, and it does. And that what you just mentioned and what AJ just mentioned is the work. Like, yeah, but we got to prioritize it. We got to prioritize each other before our kids, before bills, before everything, because if we're not prioritizing each other, stuff like that can get in. Now we get into this routine of our everyday thing, and now, you know, I'm sleeping on the couch, you sleeping in the room. Nobody's mad at each other, but this is just, you know, our routine now. And then the marriage gets stale.
So let's go. I'm gonna go to this video next because it's the second time intimacies have come up. This video is about 5 different types of intimacies.
Okay.
So let's look at this.
Yeah.
What are the 5 types of intimacy?
Physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, intellectual intimacy, which is more like shared interests, like what you like to read, what movies you like to watch. Then there's energetic intimacy, and then there's universal intimacy.
And what is universal intimacy?
I like to say universal intimacy can be connected with spirituality. So these are your beliefs that there's intimacy all around us, and the ultimate form of intimacy is connecting with the divine, right? Whether you believe in God, but there's something that's bringing you and your partner together, that you're here to be together to create a living legacy. Maybe it is through family, but there's also probably a union within that spiritual belief system where you feel as though your intimacy is cosmic, it's universal, it's galactic, like your soulmates here, right? On a soul mission.
What are the 5 types of intimacy?
So I just got to play that first part one more time because I missed one.
Yep.
What are the 5 types of intimacy?
Physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, intellectual intimacy, which is more like shared interests, like what you like to read, what movies you like to watch. Then there's energetic intimacy, and then there's universal.
So the reason I want to go back energetic intimacy, the reason I want to go back is because we've heard about, you know, emotional infidelity, right? And so I'm wondering, under the same guise of infidelity, emotional, could there be the physical infidelity? Yeah. Emotional infidelity, intellectual infidelity, energetic infidelity, universal infidelity. If these are to be the 5 different types of intimacies, because ultimately infidelity is when it sounds like it's when you're sharing in any what is it? When you're sharing in any intimacy arena with someone else.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When you and I are in the gym, is that a form of energetic intimacy?
I think it's comical intimacy.
You know what I'm saying? Because so many people think that intimacy is between a man and a woman only. You know what I mean? Me and Denim have intimate moments, intellectual intimate moments where we're having deep conversation about things that are on our hearts, on our minds, and we're both in tears. We have it as a family. You know what I mean? That's intimacy.
Okay, so I want to get this conversation out of the way so we can get back to the 5 intimacies. So when it comes down to emotional infidelity,
okay,
that means what? I need to look that up. Does that mean sharing emotional details about your life or bonding with someone in an emotional way that's not your wife?
And that's why I brought up the whole gym thing, because if it's anybody that's not your wife, that means if me and you are having deep conversation about emotions, am I cheating on my wife, or am I? You know what I'm saying? And
so that's where I want to go. I just want to make sure we address this first. So emotional cheating is the formation of a deep, intimate, and often romantic emotional bond with someone outside a primary relationship, typically involving secrecy, shared intimacy that should be reserved for a partner. Okay, it crosses a line from friendship into infidelity when emotional energy is diverted away from the relationship, causing distress to a partner. So now that I'm looking at it through this lens of emotional infidelity, it sounds like it's not just when you're sharing secrets or having emotional moments with this person you're bonding with, but that when you're pulling emotional energy from your relationship to invest in that place, and then it starts to become something else of its own, robbing you from your main priority, which is your relationship, right?
Yeah.
So when I look at this long list of physical, emotional, intellectual, energetic, and universal intimacies, my question now becomes, if I want to keep my eyes on my partner,
Yeah.
and people are in the chat talking about, you know what I'm saying, like Vicky's, I'm gonna use yours, being intentional with making your person a daily priority. But how do I do that? What if the how to do that is trying to hit the 5 intimacies every day with your partner? Were we physically intimate today, emotionally, intellectual, energetic, and universally intimate today? Maybe, you know what I'm saying? I don't you know, because like Rashonda said last week, people just be making stuff up. So I don't know who made up these 5 intimacies, but do you think engaging intentionally with your partner through these 5 ways of intimacy might be a way of keeping your eye and your focus and your faithfulness towards your partner?
I feel like that's not going to happen if one of the other two people aren't serious about making that happen. You can do any type of intimacy you want to. You know what I mean? I've talked to people where they feel that their sex life is great, their communication is great, their, you know, all of the intimacies they feel like they have down pat, but yet the female is still out there cheating. So if the person doesn't want to engage in that type, or wants to engage in something outside of the relationship, they're going to. That being said, I feel like when you're with your person, those intimacies will come naturally. And I say that because when I'm watching this, video and she's going over intimacies I've never heard of, like universal, what were the other 3?
Universal, energetic, intellectual, emotional, and physical.
So the emotional and the intellectual and the universal come naturally in Janae and I's relationship without me even knowing that's what we're doing. We're talking about business plans together. We're talking about God together. We're doing these intellectual things together and not even knowing that we're following this intimacy plan. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you, now that you know that these are potentially 5 different ways, does it make you want to be even more intentional about them? Or are you just like, no, we already, okay.
No. Because I think early on, we both committed and understood that in order to have, for us, just me and her, for us to have a successful marriage, we were going to need to pour these things into the marriage. You know what I mean?
Where'd y'all learn that though?
I feel like it was just stuff that we wanted to do with each other. I don't feel like we I don't feel like we thought or took a class or listened to a sermon or anything that made us want to say, oh yeah, we should start doing that. I think it was always innately like, I want, as much as I can figure out how to make this better, I want to do that. Now, we may have needed, or I may have needed some guidance and things we've talked about on Tuesdays as far as how can I make even that even better. But I think the bare bones of it, we just knew that, yeah, I want to pour into this person as much as we can.
I like that. I like that for you guys. With me, in the way my strategic mind works, I always think about preventative versus repair, right? And so the more knowledge I feel like I have, the more I feel like I'm more equipped to prevent certain things from happening. So as a preventative measure against infidelity, I look at it as, yeah, we had sex. Yeah, I talk to you about things that frighten me or things that I'm hopeful about for the future. Yes, the things that are on my mind that I kind of think about, and I love to, run them by you, sounding board type thing. This energetic one, I'm still struggling with understanding what that means. Is that the Bible one, the God stuff?
No, that was the last one, the universal
praying together. And so for me, my brain says if these are potential ways, because intimacy is a way of, I guess, a bonding agent or a practice to become more one with the person in front of you, in an appropriate way. I think that if I believe that's what intimacy does, and these are 4 avenues, and I want to grow in a stronger bond with my person, then you've had enough days with me to know, like, okay, now I'm putting together a strategy. Because I know one thing, that I'm not trying to take all the fun out of it by being a strategist, but I do know that strategy actually helps you against the anomalies of life.
It does.
Because if a car broke down, or somebody got to go out of town, or anything comes up that's a surprise, the strategy lets you know these things are essential. Strategy reminds you of what makes this work versus it's just innately inside of me. It's in my heart and I do it because, oh man, this would be nice. But what about when you're occupied mentally with so many of things going on in life? The strategy lets you know, like, hey, even in all your busyness, this is necessary.
That's good, man. I like that a lot. It reminds me of when you were speaking, it just reminded me of a boxer, right? What does a boxer do to train? Yeah, he lifts weights, he runs and all of that, but he also has sparring sessions. And usually those sparring sessions are with somebody that he could potentially fight, same size, same height. So now when he's sparring him, okay, this person throws a left hook. Let me prepare for that before it happens. So now when I get in the ring, the actual day of the fight, I'm not caught off guard. You know what I mean? Because I've been practicing, I've been preparing for this before the actual test, before the actual fight came to be.
And I feel like that's what this podcast is, right? It's
Yeah.
before, like when I was in high school and we used to play football, we would watch film on the other team.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
that we know, right? Boxers watch film on other team. I think that when we come on this podcast, we're talking about some of the enemies of a healthy relationship. And I think we're also talking about some of the opportunities that you should capitalize on when they present themselves. This is like it's like watching film. We're watching these videos and then having a discussion so that when you find yourself in this situation, you already have a plan in place on how to combat it. So I'm looking at it now. So if you find yourself with a desire towards your partner that is fading, maybe tapping into these 5 intimacies as a strategic practice, maybe setting boundaries with other people if you know that you're feeling a deficit in your relationship, and then taking the responsibility to communicate what you're feeling to your partner. These are all game day strategies.
Yeah.
I know that I don't see my partner the way that I used to see them. I got to run this play. What is that play? I know this woman and this woman is attractive. Boom. Step 1, set a boundary. Step 2, come back and tell my wife, yo, I don't think it's you, but something's going on with me that I'm not seeing you the way that I used to see you. I see you as my wife, but I don't really see my girlfriend no more. I don't really see that excitement. And I'm wondering, is there something I'm not seeing, not doing, or is there something, do you feel it too? Starting that conversation. That's how you respond to the enemy trying to break up, that happy or healthy relationship.
Yeah. That's really good. And I think that takes sitting with yourself and getting to know yourself, because if you don't get to know yourself, you don't know what those little those small triggers are. You don't know what sets you off to make you want to do XYZ, because you haven't sat with yourself long enough to get to know yourself and what moves you to do certain things.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. And you also, it's good to know, even as you become comfortable in a relationship, people say, I want to get comfortable. But what are some of the cons of becoming comfortable in a relationship?
Yeah.
People want to, I think sometimes we sometimes equate safety and comfort together. Like, oh, I want to feel safe here, and safe is going to make me feel comfortable, but they're different. They serve 2 different purposes. And so the pros of feeling comfortable with your person could include safety. It could include ease in conversation. It could include like, oh man, I don't have this extra weight and this worry. But what are some of the cons if you don't manage or discipline that comfort? And it sounds crazy to say it that way, but it sounds like from the majority of people, there is a such thing as too comfortable.
It's a real thing, bro. And I think what comes with, getting too comfortable is things like, stale relationships, because we've just fallen into this routine that we're comfortable with. Nobody's willing to try anything new, do anything new, spice up the relationship. You know what I mean? And then sometimes with being too comfortable comes, one of the other person or both people feeling unappreciated because you don't say thank you no more. You don't buy me flowers. You don't, you know what I mean? You don't tell me I'm doing good at this or XYZ. You don't come around and open my door for me anymore.
Listen, speaking of opening doors, there's one thing that I told you one of my mentors told me. He said, when you go on a date with a woman and you open her door, give special attention to the one that reaches over and tries to open yours.
Yes, sir.
Still live by that. It's good. But beside the point, Rashonda is about to love this. This is a definition of too comfortable. Means being so relaxed, secure, It's crazy, right? So relaxed, secure, and or familiar with the situation, job, or relationship that it leads to complacency, laziness, or taking things for granted. It often implies a lack of effort, growth, or caution, suggesting that a person is no longer pushing themselves or respecting boundaries. That is wild. And I think that sometimes we have to say it that plain face that being too comfortable is not good for any opportunity or any relationship.
Yep. I agree.
Because it's really not about what the other person is doing. It's about what you've told yourself you no longer need to do.
That's good, man. That's good. And it's so funny that we're having this conversation because just last Tuesday we had a similar conversation about our relationship. As great as we may think the relationship is, there's always room for growth. There's always room to shake things up a little bit and try something different you may haven't done before in betterment of that relationship. You got to do it. It's not just with romantic relationships. It's with your family. It's with your friends. It's with your boss. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. You know. Yeah, I was going to say something, but it's not for the people. But that's good.
I got you. So now thinking about this last 30 minutes of this conversation, this is the video for the topic for tonight. And I want you to pay extra close attention to the way they're explaining why this is happening.
All right.
Because this was a little mind-blowing.
When a man's brain starts seeing his wife as a mother figure, his sexual desire shuts down completely. This is called Madonna whore complex, and it destroys marriages silently. His psychology split women into two categories: pure women you respect, sexual women you desire. His wife became pure, mother of his children, caretaker of his home, respectable, sacred, untouchable. Dopamine stops firing for her. His brain can't sexualize what it categorized as maternal. Cortisol spikes at the thought. It feels wrong, almost incestuous. Oxytocin bonded him to her as family, not as lover, so he loses attraction. Not because she's unattractive, because his psychology made her off limits. From the outside, he looks bored of her, maybe even disgusted. But inside, his brain is following ancient programming. And here's the brutal truth. Madonna whore complex isn't rare. It's epidemic. That's why some men desire strangers but not wives. Their psychology split the categories. She became mother. Mothers aren't for sex. He didn't choose this. His psychology did. And now he can't want the woman he loves because love and lust got separated permanently. When a man...
So there's a few things in here I disagree with about the necessity for lust in a relationship. But there is something to be said about how to preserve the sexual attraction, right?
Yeah,
because we don't get into marriages just for sex. There's other things that we want that make us feel fulfilled, satisfied, happy. Like I chose the one. Oh, he's responsible. He keeps me safe. You know what I'm saying? Or she's a really good mother. She's a nurturer. And sometimes from that video, it sounds like if their role as a husband or a wife bleeds too much into a nurturer or a provider, what happens to my sex partner? You know what I'm saying to you? And when does this show up the most? From research, right after the first child.
Yeah.
Research says that after the first child, the woman becomes obsessed with the child and nurturing that child. And the husband becomes obsessed with providing for the wife and the child. So now the wife is constantly looking at the baby and the husband is constantly looking at work because he wants to make sure he provides and she wants to make sure she nurtures. But what happens to that attraction for them? Which is why after some couples raise their children and they become empty nesters, they have to reinvent that attraction all over again. They got to reconnect in a way that they couldn't before, which is why some married couples are now saying, I'm having sex in my house that we paid a mortgage for, whether the kids can hear it or not, because you start altering your marriage and the certain necessities of marriage so that the kids don't get discouraged or they don't see certain things happening, things that you need to happen in your marriage.
Yeah.
That laugh was diabolical, my nigga. I just want to say that. Just
I agree. I agree 1000%. And I also, like, as far as the video goes, I think that that's actually a real thing. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important. You know, that's why intimacy is so important. That's why physical intimacy is so important, and emotional intimacy is so important. I think those will help combat this what they're saying is this natural thing that could potentially occur. I think lusting after your wife is important, and vice versa. Lusting after your husband is important.
Do you think it's lust though?
I think there should be a little lust. I just want to jump your bones. Period.
Make it nasty, what Tiger said.
Yeah, that. And that's all it is. Yeah, I love you, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I need you to, I think it's important.
And I think it's a very important conversation to have, especially when you're expressing your needs. When I went to premarital counseling, they did talk about like how much sex you want to have in your marriage, even after you have children. Yeah, you want to give some time because depending on the size of the man and how big that baby is, she may need some recovery, and you may want to, you may have your needs, but it's good to practice abstinence and fasting prior to marriage so that if you have to endure a season like that you can. But at the same time, as much as we're saying, oh, it's important to me, how do so many couples fall into the trap of forgetting how important it is because something else seems like it's a bigger priority? Like a man is saying, yeah, I could go home and make love to my wife, but I'm trying to put this kid in private school. And I want my wife to not have to work. So it only makes sense to work overtime or to get a second job. And if I do that and I come home, I'm too tired. So do we see sex as a necessity or even a responsibility when it comes to keeping a marriage tight?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't feel like everyone does, but if we're asking, is it important to see sex and sexual engagement with your partner important for the longevity of the relationship? I think we should start looking at it through that lens instead of a duty or a chore or routine. Friday, 3 p.m. We always do this. So every Friday at 3 p.m. we but again, you got to get it how you live. If you got to make a routine at first to get that spark going, then I get it. You got to get it how you live.
I like what McJolin said. It sounds like a main essential. So when I think about this and you hear online how many people are getting married for different reasons, for safety, that's not sex. You know what I'm saying? For a nurturer, that's not sex. People are getting married for different things, and their reason for getting married is their own personal essential. But I think that we might be undervaluing the power of intimacy, the power of sex, as it boils down to helping you to grow the marriage, fully enjoy the marriage, feel fulfilled in the marriage, stay faithful in the marriage. There's some sex. I don't think it originated with man. Like it has a spiritual component that's wild. Like the Bible says, like you have sex when you bond with them. Like it's almost, and it sounds counterintuitive to some of the therapy that's out there. Like I'm gonna tell you what the Bishop Babyface said. Bishop Babyface, R&B singer from the 90s, said, we got a way that's better than words.
Hey, come on.
Better than words. It's the strangest kind of relationship. And he's talking about that whip appeal that she has, and sometimes to address an issue in your marriage, a disagreement, a hard place. It's just maybe start with some physical intimacy.
That's true. I'm not a big advocate for it because that my previous marriage to Dennis' mom, that's all it was. I think balance is necessary. You know what I mean?
If you didn't have that,
if you're solving all your problems with physical intimacy and not communication, and then that's only going to last for so long.
Okay, so that's because that was your experience in your last marriage, right?
Well, that's because communication. If without communication, nothing can really last.
So, are we saying that sex is not communicating something?
We're saying sex is not enough of a communicator as far as words need to be communicated. If I slap the dog shit out of you and then I come and have sex with you, but then I keep doing it and I have sex with you and I keep slapping you and I keep having sex with you, eventually you're gonna be like, nigga, no.
I think that sex is a great appetizer for a main course conversation. I think it sets it up, right? I think it helps people to physically lower their walls, right? But then also hormonally. Wow, you gotta knock those down yourself.
Hey,
but also hormonally, it puts you in a different type of headspace to have a conversation. Because usually we're talking about, hey, self-regulate so that you can have a conversation with your spouse about these big issues. In marriage, I believe the sex does help you emotionally regulate.
I agree. I can see that.
And if you're so angry that you don't want to have sex with your partner, I think that might be even an even bigger issue, though.
Yeah,
and even if it's not sex, if it's another one of those intimacies, not another one, physical or emotional intimacy. The rest of those, no.
I'm not gonna see you for a smooth year once you get married. What you doing? I'm about to water my marriage.
I'm bonding. Exactly what I told you before. I'm about to water my marriage, man. Listen,
that's funny.
Get over here and water. Stop calling my phone. I'm over here watering my marriage, man.
Holly's not gonna be on the podcast tonight, y'all. He's busy watering his marriage.
Or I might be on the podcast saying, "Listen,
watering your marriage."
I'll tell you guys. But I think there's so many things in the Christian culture that have become so taboo. And I think that they may be the main reasons why some people aren't feeling so fulfilled in their marriages and why they're calling it quits.
That's good.
Because they don't have any education, any insight, any safe room to talk about. I'm horny. It's almost like a sin to be horny, even if you're married inside certain religious rooms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or blasphemous, you know what I'm saying, to want your wife in that way, or to leave an event early, or, you know what I'm saying, hey, we got to get out of here. You know
or not get out of here.
I'm being in a parking lot of the church.
Come on.
The point is that it does communicate something. I do check-ins, right? You know what I'm saying, with people. And so we start to check in almost like a sandwich approach, right? You start with a compliment and then you kind of go through a scaling system and you get into the heavy stuff and you end with a compliment. All I'm saying is that this physical intimacy, as much as we live in this very, I want to say overly sensitive culture right now, overly sensitive generation, I think that emotions have become a heightened priority of focus. We don't need to take away or devalue physical. It does something magical. I think it does something that words can't do. I think they work well together, but I don't want to think that I can talk my way into the same kind of bonding that sex could give me.
Agree.
With my partner.
Agree. That's why I agree 1000%. That's why just as the intellectual intimacy is important, it's just important for the physical intimacy. I feel like you can't, like I said before, they go hand in hand.
Well, yeah. And so Ray is saying what you're saying. The responsibility is that it can be, but it also has been used to ignore a much needed conversation. I'm not calling sex a supplement for communication.
Right.
I'm calling it a prerequisite.
Yes.
It may be a great, appetizer. It may be a great hype man. It may be a great forerunner for that conversation, because now you guys are talking, having released a lot of that stress, hopefully. Even though every sexual experience is not about orgasms, sometimes just that exchange can help ease the mind and relax you. If done right, you can have some of the best conversations about some of the most serious topics after you guys have relaxed each other.
Or some of the best sex when you're mad. Pick your poison. All I'm saying.
All right, Michael.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Jesus.
So I want to touch back on this video before we move on. The bottom line of the video was talking about how this guy started to see his wife as this innocent, sacred thing.
Yeah.
Because she's the mother of his child now. And I'm wondering if anybody in the audience has ever experienced this, or Mike, if you have experienced this, to where this woman now, after she's, this was your sexual partner, y'all's tag team back again.
Yeah.
After she's given birth to this child, does it change the way you see her sexually? Does it change your attractiveness to her?
I can definitely see how, if you allow it to, you can definitely adopt some of that mindset. You know what I mean? And not because, you got bigger after the baby, or not even because you feel different inside when I'm inside of you after you have the baby. I'm just talking about just how I view you as a woman You know what I mean? I can definitely see that switch if you allow it to. I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm not saying it happens to all men, but if you allow your mind to let that just take over your mind, then yeah.
And I think it's important to say, because every woman responds to pregnancy and birth differently.
Yeah.
Like it's a big deal. Like it can have a great psychological impact on them. Some women may not want to ever have sex again because of, I've heard so many women talk about their pregnancies being so horrible.
Yeah.
It could be the lack of support. In some cases, I'll say this, and I'm not gonna name any names, but if you didn't prepare your body to carry life, that can also make the pregnancy challenging, right? Studies are showing how the man's DNA impacts what that pregnancy could look like, to a half of it. And his DNA is really written on what is he feeding himself, what is he eating, what is his workout routine, how healthy is his body when he implanted that seed inside of you, because a lot of stuff is transferring over. That could make your pregnancy harder. If you were, drinking every day before you got pregnant and eating fast food and working late hours and not getting your 8 hours of sleep before you got pregnant, that can also impact how the pregnancy is going to be for you. And I think that sometimes it can be a traumatic situation because not because we didn't have support, but we lack to prepare for the experience in the first place.
Yeah, that's good, man.
And this is real good, man. John said, what's going on, bro? He said, can't physical intimacy happen without sex? Is there sexual intimacy and physical intimacy?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Yeah, that is a very good point, and it's important to distinguish between the two. You know what I mean? Because there's exercises that can be done, physical intimacy exercises, touches, caresses, holding, that doesn't involve any kind of sexual penetration or any kind of sexual feeling. It's about just the oneness and the closeness between the two physical bodies.
That's good. That's good. So if I'm using this opportunity now to kind of connect these last few videos together, we're thinking about finding a new interest and thinking that this is the birth of love happening all over again while you're in a relationship. We recognize that happened because there may have been an open door in your relationship, a deficit you were experiencing that allowed somebody else or a new interest even to catch your eye. Then we started venturing over into, well, what can I do to keep my eye on my partner, and what can I do to help my partner keep their eye on me? And then that's how we got into the conversations about the 5 different intimacies, which are bonding agents, which is like, I know that my wife is tired when she comes home. So which one of these is the most appropriate? It may not be sexual intimacy tonight. It may not be physical intimacy tonight. Maybe it is that energetic intimacy. Maybe we just sit down and intentionally in Indian style and we hold each other. You know what I'm saying? We're back to back. We're doing one of them lotus blossom, poses that you learn from the Kama Sutra. Whatever it is, it's not sex, but it's still, and it doesn't require a whole bunch of thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? I think that the more you know about the different kind of intimacies, the more you can find the most appropriate one, so that bonding isn't just missing. We couldn't have sex, so I guess we'll just try again tomorrow.
Yeah. So no bonding, no bonding. If we can't have this one bonding that I want right now, then we're not gonna have no bonding.
Right. And so we're talking about that bonding compartment. I think that ultimately that if the more you're working on the bonding between you and your person, after a child is introduced or after the next child is introduced, I think that there's a greater chance of that bond not being broken or that perspective of that person not changing, because it's something that you've been fortifying over the months or over the years. Because we talk about people changing, right? After we get into a relationship, like you married this person, but that can be a totally different person if they get into a car accident. If they lose their job, you know what I'm saying? We talk about all these dramatic things that can happen in someone's life that can make them not look like the person you married. Having a child could be one of them. You may have never seen your husband stressed, had life figured out, got the money in the bank, savings account, and then that baby drops and you see this brother's panic for the first time. That can make you start to question your security with him. Are we still safe? Because he looks worried. Or she has this child and now she starts to feel like one of her favorite attributes about herself, her physical appearance has changed and her security is not there. So she's not moving in the same confidence, which means she doesn't want to initiate certain things with you, or she may not want to go to the same places because she doesn't feel like they look at them like her the same. And you start to feel like after this child or after this dramatic experience, whatever it was, that you feel like, who am I married to?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you guys have been practicing initiating those intimacies with each other, it's almost like no matter if something physically or emotionally or energetically changes, you still have other pillars of intimacy that lets you know this is still my person. We still want the same vision, right? Or we still believe in the same God and have the same values, right? Or we still emotionally bond on this topic, or we still both love this same kind of touch, right? You know what I'm saying? Or we still think this kind of way. We both love conspiracy theories. Like, there's always going to be, I think those intimacies help you to identify where you and that person connect in these big moments that may come and alter something. It ain't gonna alter all of them, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's facts, man. That's good.
Oh man. All right. So Kismaya said, I wouldn't trade my children for anything on earth, but pregnancy was super traumatic for me. Mind and body, it's a real thing for sure.
I'd like to, I don't want to get off topic, but that's,
I love infants, but hated being pregnant. See, this is, and when you have, say you married a woman, and to the best of your ability, you try to make sure that she had an incredible pregnancy, but you can only control so much. If you have been practicing bonding with her on different planes, even if this is where she is after the child, like, I'm happy, I love the child, but that was rough for me. No value has to be lost in the actual marriage if you know how to connect with her in multiple ways, because that might be the time for how healthy is your guys' emotional intimacy, because a lot of this sounds like it's about to be emotional for her for the next maybe 6 months, a year. Do you guys know how? Have you already been practicing that? Is it part of your routine? And we can pick up and say, oh yeah, babe, I'm in this space. You're like, I know you are. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
That's good. I'd beg to do one more, which is, could pregnancies that the ladies are saying are terrible, could, if their partner, or if they work together, that emotionally that had that emotional intimacy, had the other intimacies, if they were practicing those, could the pregnancy have been better? Because right now we're talking about it as a forethought. I mean, as an afterthought. But what if we were talking about this as a forethought before the pregnancy even happened? What are we doing as far as with each other to create that intimacy? That in itself could possibly make the pregnancy easy. Yeah.
That's why I feel like this podcast is like watching film on marriage and saying, hey, if you guys know you're trying to have a child, what are you now doing to prepare yourself for some of the anomalies or obstacles that may come after having a child? What are you guys doing to make sure that you keep each other a priority after the child? And don't just start doing it once the child comes, start doing it now. You know what I'm saying to you? If I know, you know what I'm saying to you, one of my favorite things about me is, and this is one I've actually thought about, you know what I'm saying? I love to work out.
Yeah.
And I love when my body looks and feels a certain way because it helps me to have drive in life.
Yeah.
I have the luxury of time right now. So what am I doing so that when I do increase in responsibility of having a wife and having children, that I still can maintain an appearance and an energy and a mobility that makes me feel like myself?
Yeah.
That's something I have to work on now, which is why my life has so many different gaps in it and openings of just free time and free space, because I know that I don't want to be at capacity and then try to add something big like a wife and children to something that's already at capacity. Something's going to have to give.
For sure.
Right. And then I also need to make sure I'm with somebody that's not just with me because of how I physically look, because then that can also be a detriment to when I met you, you were in shape. And I'm like, well, I'm not in shape now because I'm trying to be a good father and to be a good husband. And that requires time. And so I don't get to go to the gym as much as I used to. But again, like when you are in entertaining someone because they tickle your fancy and they give you all these compliments about how you physically look, that means that if you ever stop looking that way, something significant might change in our relationship.
Well, good thing you only a 6.5, brother. I don't think you got to worry about it.
Listen, I can fall to a 2. It can happen.
Come get this 2, girl.
Wow. Rashonda said, y'all doing the Lord's work. I was 25 when I had my son, and our relationship changed after he was born. This is not the most exciting conversation, but I think it's a very helpful one.
I agree.
All right. Well, that was good. I want to possibly end tonight's show with this very interesting video I have here. Let's do this. You ready for this, bro?
Yeah.
This is one of Mike's favorite topics, friends. And here we go.
There's a big difference between losing a friend and completing a friendship. Hi, I'm Sam. I have a degree in psychology and sociology, and I teach you how human behavior shapes the way we show up in our friendships. Not every friendship that ends is a failure. Sometimes they end because it served its purpose and what it came here to do. In psychology, friendships are seen as relational systems that evolve over time. They're meant to fulfill specific emotional, developmental, or identity needs, especially since friendships are usually formed around some sort of shared experience or emotions or values. But when those internal coordinates shift, the friendships that we built on who we used to be might no longer meet the emotional or psychological needs of who we are now. And that's not a sign of failure. Your self-concept is updating and your relationships are following suit. But most friendships don't end with a big breakup moment. They fade quietly or life just shifts, and the lack of closure leaves your brain searching for meaning. Relational closure, the process of mentally and emotionally understanding that a friendship ended so it no longer feels like an open wound, is when you can finally honor what that friendship gave you, accept that its purpose has finally been fulfilled, and release the expectation for it to return to what it once was. To your brain, this kind of closure integrates both the attachment and the separation systems within it, allowing you to feel gratitude for it without resenting the person. And when you finally reach that closure, you can stop defining the friendship by its ending and start defining it by its impact. This is just one part of my friendship psychology series, and if you love learning how psychology explains the way we connect, make sure.
Michael, are you assessing which of your friendships have served their purpose and they needed to end versus the ones that you may have gotten rid of prematurely versus the ones you never shouldn't have got in the first place?
I think as of, I'd say, the last year, I've been doing quite a bit of that. Before we get into it, though, I just wanted to say that sometimes the closure you need to come to grips with is that you're not going to get closure.
Okay, fair enough.
So many times we look for closure, and people are looking for closure for 5, 6, 10, 15, 30 years, wondering why this person is no longer in my life. Sometimes you got to come to grips with you're not going to find out, and that deal with that you're never that's the closure.
I think that sometimes an obsession with closure could prevent you from enjoying this new thing. Why that relationship had to end. There was a reason why it had to end. And you obsessing over understanding why it had to end is preventing you from embracing the joy and the new excitement or the new fulfillment associated with this new thing that now has appeared in the absence of the old thing.
For sure.
Now, I want to say this, though. Oh, go ahead.
Nah, you got it.
I want to say this, man. I think that we need to have a conversation about how important it is to let certain friendships complete themselves in order for us to move forward where we want to go in life. That video explained well how certain friendships had a purpose and they affirmed us in certain identities, and we bonded on certain hobbies and habits and activities. But when you mature and you evolve and you outgrow those things, and that those people don't go in that direction with you, not allowing that friendship to end is a tether, and you're tethered to and connected to them. So that's going to impact your ability to fully walk in this newness. You know what I'm saying to you? It could be slowing you down or holding you back from the fulfilled life that you really want. And I think that is worth having a conversation tonight about the sentimental value associated with certain friendships and how they just been friends for so long, or they're family, but having a real conversation with yourself of, if I continue to pour into, water, entertain this friendship or stay connected to this person, what am I going to miss? What opportunity may I miss? What thing have I been praying for? Will I be forfeiting because I don't want to just gracefully allow this moment, this friendship to end, to say it did serve its purpose. Thank you for getting me here. And now I have to move forward. And that's not something that we need to do together anymore.
I feel like that, as for some people, as difficult as that may be, it's also very beautiful when you, because if I'm calling somebody my friend, I should be able to have conversations like that. And my friend have some sort of understanding. It may be, you know what I mean, sad. It may be, you know what I mean, all of the things. You may miss that person and what they at one point brought to your life. But if we're saying that the season of when they're supposed to be there is over, and I need to either separate or distance myself in order to get to the next level, that person should, hey, I'm happy for you. I'm glad that, you know, you're moving forward. I'm glad that you're going in the direction you feel that your life is going in. Yeah, it may suck that I won't be able to be a direct part of this next part of your journey, but I'm glad I got to ride with you up until this point. You know what I'm saying?
So let me say this then. If that person is not quick to embrace that, does that mean they're a bad friend?
Nah, man. I feel like people handle things differently, bro. I feel like it's so funny. It's so funny. A couple, and I'm not gonna name any names, but one of my boys, after I think it was a couple podcasts ago, hit me up and was like, yo, I felt like when you made a comment, you were like talking about me. Was not, but he felt like I was, because there was a season to where we were really close. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of just dwindled. Some things happened and it was over. But to your point, everybody is not going to take, honestly, everybody's not going to take your growth the way you want them to take your growth. And sometimes your growth looks like, I got to leave you behind.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And it as much as it may suck, bro, I think doing what's best for yourself is one of the highest forms of self-care. You know what I mean? I can't, and I mean, when I say that, I mean, I can't hold on to this relationship because it feels good if I know it's not going to allow me to be where God wants me to be. You know, sometimes you got to just let shit die.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to use a softer word like just transition, because it can be.
That's what happens when you die. You transition.
Sometimes close friendships become, twice a year we talk, or sometimes they just transition into something that's not as prioritized.
Definitely. You're right. I think that it may come. We were friends at one point.
Golly. Okay. That is true. That's the whole gambit of it. I just wanted to make sure we had the conversation about how that may not be something you want, because you may still feel like so let me say it this way, because that's the way we've been going. That person may still feel like they need you as a friend. And you may feel like you no longer need them as a friend. And that is a conversation that I'm pretty sure is not easy to have. How do we start it?
How do we start it? One, if we're dealing with, if this your friend and hopefully you know how your friend will react to certain situations. So if you need to, give a preface of, hey, I care about you, and I want the best for you and I want the best for me. But I feel like, it's something that we really need to talk about that's been on my mind, been on my heart. you know what I mean, just to kind of soften it before you drop the bomb of I don't feel like I need you in my life anymore. You know what I'm saying?
And so
Because
that's what I'm saying. Like, what life circumstances come up that can make you say, I no longer need that friend?
bro, just since I've been in therapy, I've realized there's certain people that I don't need that maybe I've called friend that I don't need to call friend because you serve no purpose.
Were they ever friends then?
Yes, but I think what I've been looking a lot at lately is how did we become friends? Was it trauma bonding? Was it, you know what I mean? We both used to go and get girls together, so that's how we became close. Was it, you know, a life altering moment that we experienced? You know, just difference. And that to me is how I've been gauging lately. Who needs to be there and who doesn't? Because one thing I don't want is seat fillers. And I think I told you this a couple of weeks ago. Like, I'm not looking to do no more seat fillers. Meaning, you're not just going to be in my life just because. Like,
Well,
what are we doing?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Now, even a seat filler had to get accessed by us anyway.
1,000%.
Here's something that I believe. I believe that sometimes we formed friendships in seasons of our lives where our standards were a lot lower, in seasons of our lives where we were going through certain things, or we hadn't evolved emotionally or intellectually enough to take responsibility and accountability for the things that are happening in our lives, which caused us to partner and bond with specific people who also weren't practicing self-accountability, who weren't practicing discipline, who weren't trying to evolve. And so a friendship that was formed in a season of my life where my standards were low, my self-esteem was low, my self-awareness was low. And now I've come into this place of an awakening, and I'm just like, oh, shoot. When we formed this friendship, I was a totally different person. And not am I no longer that person. I'm not even trying to be that person. I'm trying to be someone new. And I recognize that we don't have the bond necessary for me to even appropriately call you a friend, because there's no way in which you can partner with me on where I'm going. I would love if that was the case, if you had a mutual awakening, but it's not. And where you are is where you want to be, and where you are is where I no longer want to be.
And I love that. And I feel like that's the conversation. But I also feel like that doesn't mean that they can never get to that point. You know what I mean?
So I'm presently ineligible for friendship. But if you go and get this degree, then you might be eligible in the future, is what you're saying.
I am not to that extent, but that is what I'm saying though. That is what I'm saying though. Yes, that is what I'm saying.
I think it's a hard conversation to have, and I think that the first place you have to have it is with yourself.
How necessary is the conversation, bro?
So the reason I call it necessary, I think from a place of integrity, right?
Yeah.
I'm big on wanting to leave people better than I found them.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have the best relationship with a person, platonic or romantic, and the way you ended it overrides everything of value that you did while it was
facts. That's facts.
You can watch a hell of a good movie and the ending sucks, and you leave out there saying that movie was whack.
Yep.
Even though everything up until the ending was good.
Man. Come on, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? So I think integrity is necessary. How you start a thing and how you end a thing, I think they matter more than people think. Because when they come to me as a life coach, or when they go to a therapist, usually they talk about how it ended. And the therapist or the coach has to ask them, well, how was it in between? How was the process? People usually have a hyper focus on the ending or the beginning, like not the in between. And so that's something they may have to be coached into. So I think that the reason I call it necessary is because I want to lead people as well as I can.
And that's including, I'm saying that's including, but I believe that's including even if my actions or how I show up in the relationship is starting to look different, that's also worth a conversation. Hey, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not, I know we usually talk every day. We ain't talking like 2-3 weeks. Is there an explanation that should be given? Is there a conversation that should be had? Meaning, I'm not saying the friendship or the relationship is over, but what I'm saying is our engagement on a daily basis is not serving a purpose for me anymore.
Listen, bro, that's so good because it begs to ask, have you guys even been checking in with each other? How did you come to this big place of the friendship needs to be over out of the blue? Nah, there was some leading up and you guys haven't been checking in. I had to have a conversation at one point with a friend. The friendship had drastically changed. And this was like almost as soon as it drastically changed, a few weeks later, called this friend. I said, hey, this friendship has shifted dramatically. I just want to make sure that we both consented to this.
That's good.
And we had a great conversation and recognized like, oh shoot, no, I thought this was just how it had to be. And we were like, neither one of us wanted that. And so we were able to re-engage with intention. But that's because we had a steady pattern of checking in with each other anyway.
Yeah.
If you ever get to a place to where you're trying to dismiss a friendship and it feels like a shock to the other person,
like
that might be evidence that you guys have not really been operating at a high level of friendship anyway. When it comes to communication and check-ins, like if it's your friend, they should have been updated the first time you felt something weird was off. The first time you wanted to go out and party and do hood rat things, and you was like, I'm not really feeling that. That should have been a conversation. Like, I feel like something's changing for me. Versus, a year later, and you're like, listen, this isn't working for me. We can't be friends anymore. It's like, dang, like where was the heads up along the way? So that's just what I'm saying, man. I think it's good to visit where you are, who you're becoming, who you're connected to, and how they're aiding or how they're preventing you from growing fully into who you're supposed to be, who God has called you to be, into the spaces you're supposed to be in. I understand that sentimental value is there. People have been around for a long time. You share a lot of memories, and you don't have to get rid of them or destroy them, the memories or the good times, in order to move forward. But forward is necessary for you to have a fulfilled life. And if people really care about you, the last thing they want to do is hold you back from the life you feel like you deserve, or a life that you know that is for you.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how I see it.
No, that's solid. That's solid. And to the person, I think that's on the receive, because I've been on both ends, and I think to the person that's on the receiving end of, this friendship, and the other person is saying, hey, they need to move on with life without you. I think taking a moment of pause before you react in the moment, because initially, especially if there hasn't been the type of communication there should have been, especially if it's coming as a shock to you, especially if you feel like, you know what I mean, we've been through thick and thin. I was here for you when your own mama wasn't there for you. All of the things that could come up in those moments. I think taking a moment of pause and actually listening to why the person is saying that, hey, we got to move differently, you know what I mean, will sometimes help even you maybe even understand, and maybe even be in agreement with, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I think it is time for this to kind of dissolve.
And this is why it's good on a daily basis just to work on giving language to your thoughts and your feelings. Because sometimes your inability to explain why you can't be friends with the person anymore is the most offensive thing. Yes. Why don't you even know how to give language to this?
Yeah.
On Instagram, Sindria said that is growth, when you can recognize the purpose of a friendship and let go when it's time. The wealthy wife, he said, I had a friend that I had a hard time communicating issues with because she is capable of framing all grievances as if she is the victim. She feels like when she does certain behaviors, it's no big deal. And I think that sometimes there's certain things that we tolerate in friendships because they're not really hurting us, right? Like, oh, okay, it's fine. You don't hold that person accountable for it.
It's Donnie.
Oh, that's
Mike.
That's just, they just get wild. They do crazy things. But when you walk into a season of opportunity for you to then gain interest into an area of life like marriage, that you want to walk into, and the same friend is in your life, and now that behavior could potentially sabotage you getting married, you got a decision to make. Because that person, think about it, when you get married, bro, and I've seen this from a lot of married couples, one of the biggest issues that married people come across that is a detriment to their marriage is the friends of their spouses.
Agreed.
Are your friends that you've had for years, are they pro this marriage? Are they pro you evolving? Are they pro you reprioritizing your life to where they're not the main character anymore? Are they pro you moving forward even if they don't benefit from it? If you don't have those kind of friends around you, they will be a weight on your marriage.
They will. Agreed. And it's so funny you said that. It's people that and you know how cautious I am with using the word friend, but there's friends that I had. Love you, son. It's friends that I've had that when I got married, that's when the friendship stopped, because I can't you DM me pictures of girls with big butts and you trying to DM me all of these other things. Listen, I can't engage in that. You know what I'm saying? We can't talk about it. I can't comment on it. You can't send it to me. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, you as my friend, knowing some of the struggles that I've had, like, okay, you still on the same shit. I'm not on that no more. And we can't partner in this next phase of my life because you clearly are still on that. No shade to you. Keep doing your thing. Just not with me.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you appreciated tonight's show. I feel like some nice things came out of this conversation tonight. The things that were definitely necessary for just continuing to grow and evolve in the direction you're trying to go.
That's it, man. That's what it comes
to. Man. This was good tonight, man. At the end of every show, we like to leave you guys with a resource though as well. So if I can get that pulled up at some point, which is not letting me. Maybe it's not happening tonight. Well, at the end of every show, we like to leave you guys with a resource, and that resource is 988. 988 is a number you can call or text or go online and connect with someone who can get you connected to a therapist, a support group, a life coach even, or resources. It's a personal crisis hotline number, and you can reach out to them if you're struggling with communicating. You know what I'm saying, in any regard, or struggling with having hard conversations, or struggling with intimacy, infidelity, struggling with an addiction of any kind, be it porn, alcohol, or even just wanting to get connected to, what's that? Or even get connected to, thank you. I wish I can't even do it. Even get connected to a support group of people who are like-minded. If you're trying to find some new friends, this number 988 can get you connected to that. One of my friends, one of the viewers, just sent over $20 to help us stay online. I couldn't put the advertisement up tonight, but we are crowdfunded and we do accept donations at Cash App, which is $ maybe this will help the podcast, right?
Yep.
Maybe this will help the podcast on Cash App. $88 to keep us on every Sunday. So we appreciate you guys for rocking with us tonight, for donating. And if you need anything before next Sunday, reach out to 988. That is a resource we'd like to leave you guys with. If anything comes up and you need some help and some support, they're a great resource.
Yeah.
You got anything else, bro?
Nah, man. I got nada, man.
Ferg, I see you on there. She said, thank you, gentlemen. Great show once again. Thank you for showing up. Sis, Kima, thank you for showing up. For all the people, Sindria and John, Miss Princess White, Candy J, all the people who showed up in the chat tonight, McJellin and Carrie and Rashonda. We appreciate you guys. Miss Daniel, we appreciate you guys for showing up tonight, rocking with us. You praying out, Mike, or I got it?
Go ahead and shoot this, bro.
Father God, we thank you so much for this opportunity tonight, just to steward this conversation. We prayed beforehand, and we pray now that everybody who showed up left better than they came, took something away from it that was valuable to help them to fully walk into the answered prayer or the promised place that you have reserved for them. If anybody's struggling with anxiety or worry or suicidal thoughts tonight, Father God, I pray, Lord, you just visit them and they are able to just rest in your presence. And in your presence, those worries and thoughts just bleed away and fall off. If anybody's struggling with discipline, Father God, I pray, Lord, that they just turn to you in their weak moments so that you can be their strength, Father God. If anybody's struggling with just worries about life, employment, marriage working out or not, Father God, I pray, Lord, that their prayer life enhances, that they just spend more time talking to you so that they can be reassured that when a life that's surrendered to you, you will cause it all to work, cause every situation to work together for their good. We thank you for these things. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And
All right,
amen.
y'all. Until next time, you wonderful, wonderful people.
2 Chainz.
Can we talk for a minute? Come on and talk to me. I wanna know someday. Come on and talk to me. Come on and talk to me, baby. Come on, baby.
Come and talk to me. I really wanna meet you, girl. I really wanna know your name.
Maybe this will help.